coming out. Run, motherfucker, run. They built a house of cards and called it gold, but the hands that hold the strings just let it go. A million bag holders screaming, please just bounce. But the floor is lava now, we're headed straight down. We're going down. No brakes, no savior. Fed can't fix this crash shit major. Grab your shovel, dig your grave, cause attendees turn to dust. Today we're going down. Maxed out margin, lit the wick. Now I got my broker on my dick. Said hedge your bets, but I said nah. Now I'm knee deep in fucking margin calls. Took my rent, took my ride, took my future, took my pride. Now I'm staring at the screen like a junkie chasing dopamine. They built a house of cards and called it gold, but the hands that hold the strings just let it go. A million bag holders screaming, please just bounce. But the floor is lava now, we're headed straight down. We're going down. No brakes, no savior. Fed can't fix this crash shit major. Grab your shovel, dig your grave, cause attendees turn to dust. Today we're going down. We're going down. No brakes, no savior. Fed can't fix this crash shit major. Grab your shovel, dig your grave, cause attendees turn to dust. Today we're going down. We're going down. Down, down, down.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where today we have a beautiful Tuesday, September the 30th. We are almost halfway through the week, but we are wrapping up the month, the most bearish month of the year, which turned out to not be bearish at all. And we are now setting up for October, old spooky season, where I know a lot of spooky things have happened in the market in the month of October. However, it is overall a bullish month, and in reality, it kind of kickstarts what you've probably heard referred to in the past as the Santa Claus rally. Pretty much from open, I guess, tomorrow until about halfway through January, the seasonal bias is absurdly bullish. Now, does that mean we have to go up? No, but it is good influence. I mean, if you look at the past winter period trading, it's pretty freaking good, fall into winter. So I just want to kind of let you guys know where we are in the grand picture of it all. But obviously, since it's not the end all be all, you have to pay attention to what's going on in this time around, this particular chapter. And right now, everything that everyone's talking about in one way or another relates to monetary policy, because from there you have the job market. How strong is it? Isn't it? What's going on with the inflation? How's the trade war impacting inflation? What's going on with the government shutdown? Is that going to be impacting all of it? So right now it's all about the Fed and what are we doing with our money supply? And then from there it gets a little bit more chaotic. There's a lot more unknowns. There's a lot more uncertainty. Hence why you're seeing precious metals such as gold and silver rip to new all-time highs. Even yesterday, Bitcoin catching a little bit of a bid, granted giving a bit back this morning, but overall we're seeing a big pivot where people don't want to have their value stored in US dollars. The dollar index is plummeting. If you look at old Dixie, DXY, that is the comparison of the US dollar against the euro, the pound, the yen, all that good jazz. I think even a little bit of the Canadian dollars in there. You're going to see that the US dollar is vastly losing its purchasing power, which is kind of a mathematical sleight of hand. We're all like, oh, new high with respect to the equities market. But we're kind of hitting new highs because remember, when you have something less valuable, For it to retain the same overall value relative to other things, it needs to go up because the thing that its denomination is in is going lower and lower and lower. So it's a little bit of a mathematical sleight of hand of why the stock market looks so good, when in reality, remember, as we've always said, maybe this is the best comparison, $1 billion company now, when you're looking at its market cap, is actually worth way less than $1 billion company a decade ago, because $1 billion itself now carries less value. So think about that. As all these company stocks are going up and up and up right now, remember, the thing that we're valuing them in is going down and down and down. So you kind of have to play, once again, that mathematical sleight of hand to realize, is it actually even going up in value? Is it going down in value? There is circumstances right now where we have stocks going up, but they're not going up at a good enough rate that because of the devaluation of the dollar, they're actually now going to be worth less if you think about the value of a dollar. So that's kind of what we have set up as we're kind of concluding the quarter right now. It is September 30th, which means that we have actually some crazy things to pay attention today. At 10 a.m., we have the JOLTS job report. At 11 a.m., we have a recently scheduled announcement, discussion, speech, whatever, address to the nation from the President of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump. At some point today, JP Morgan, that giant-ass bank, is going to be rolling their giant call position. That's going to be happening throughout the day at some point today. The past couple times, it's happened between noon and 2 p.m. East Coast, but there's no set rule of when this has to happen. So we know at some random point today, JP Morgan is going to kick off the process to roll their position. And we're talking a huge position. Right now, the closest one is around 6505 on SPX. So we're in excess of 150 points above that. So it really doesn't have the biggest gamma influence. But what's going to have a big influence is the trades hitting the tape today to get into the new position. So that's going out today. And then tomorrow, we're going to get some manufacturing. We have a lot going down. So Trump speech today, jobs report today, JP Morgan roll today. It's the end of a quarter. It's the end of a month. We got some crazy news on individual companies. I don't know if you guys have seen CoreWeave this morning. I don't know if you've seen Oklo this morning, but both of those had a piece of news dropping, and they're already going a little bit hectic in pre-market trading. The NASDAQ and the SPY yesterday, the S&P 500, popped in the morning, sold off all day, got that downside gap fill. If you played that, massive congrats to you. I know I played it in the Discord yesterday. I know other members of the Discord played it as well. That ended up being easy, $6,000 return. I'll show you proof of the trade, and I'll remind you guys of the logic. But remember, gap up, gap down trades up. Not guarantees, but they are very good odds, and I took those odds yesterday, made myself a couple shekels here and there. Since then, the SPY taking an additional hit in pre-market trading. Not horrible, but also not the best. The NASDAQ, same thing, but has fortunately rebounded to the closing value of yesterday. So that's the generic setup. Of course, we have some major news that we're going to get into, and hopefully I can rip through it fast enough that by the time the market's about to open, I'm going to need you guys to vote. Because today is the final day of Apex's current deal. Not only is it 80% off, but the upgrade fee from eval to a performance account is dirt cheap. Lifetime $85. So I kind of want to take advantage of it myself today, which means we're going to need to do some exceptionally degenerate things today, which means I'm going to need your help. I'm hoping to take advantage of either a morning report or market open in general, but I'm going to need you guys to not vote, oh, I'm bullish, oh, I'm bearish. I don't want your bias. I don't even want your prediction of where the day's going. I'm going to need your prediction of the very first impulse. I'm talking the first 30 seconds, the first 60 seconds of the market. I need your best guess of which direction do we go from 9:30 to 9:31. That's the vote. That's what I need. That's what I need you guys to use your big brains to do a giant analysis of. I'm not asking you your own positions. I don't give a shit about where you think the market's going today. My question is this, very specifically, from 9:30 market open to a minute into the day, 9:30 to 9:31. This is a well-defined problem. Which way are we going? Think about it. I'm going to come back to you guys around 9:25, 9:27 for you guys to give me that answer, because my financial health is, in fact, in your hands. And on that note, stock futures fall as U.S. government shutdown looms, but Wall Street heads for monthly gain. What is this one? Boston Fed President Collins sees caution on future interest rate cuts. Well, she can it for a second. Right now in pre-market, just to show you guys where we all are at, we popped yesterday, vomited all day, got the downside gap fill, and then popped a little bit pre-market, bit weak on the SPY, rebounding a bit better on the Qs. And as I alluded to in my intro, CoreWeave and Oklo getting some interesting news, sending them upwards this morning. CoreWeave is currently up 9%, and Oklo is up 1.6 after gaining 5.4 yesterday. So we're going to be diving into those individual ones. But first, we should talk about the fact that, our government's about to shut down. Democrats stare down the political risks of a government shutdown. Party's lawmakers willing to withhold votes needed to keep government open in an effort to extend healthcare subsidies. Nothing like trying to help people by letting the government shut down, which is inherently going to hurt people. But don't think about it too hard, because you're just going to get angry. But just so you guys know, as of midnight tonight, as we go into the month of October, the government will shut down unless we come to some sort of solution today. So it's very, very soon. We're headed to a shutdown, according to the Vice President Vance, says after Trump meeting with leaders. And so they met yesterday pretty much right as the market was closing. And apparently it did not go well. U.S. government shutdown looms with Trump and Democrats at odds. So here's what Vance had to say.
We have disagreements about tax policy, but you don't shut the government down. We have disagreements about healthcare policy, but you don't shut the government down. You don't use your policy disagreements as leverage to not pay our troops, to not have essential services of government actually function. You don't say the fact that you disagree about a particular tax provision is an excuse for shutting down the people's government and all the essential services that come along with it. So if they want to talk about how to fix American healthcare policy, let's do it. The Speaker would love to do it. The Senate Majority Leader would love to do it. Let's work on it together, but let's do it in the context of an open government that's providing essential services to the American people. That's all that we're proposing to do, and the fact that they refuse to do that shows how unreasonable their position is. I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing. I hope they change their mind, but we're going to see. Whatever our disagreements are, let's negotiate with them. Let's talk about them. Let's figure out a bipartisan solution, but you don't shut the government down. In other words, you don't put a gun to the American people's head and say, unless you do exactly what Senate and House Democrats want you to do, we're going to shut down your government. That's exactly what they're proposing out there.
And just for those of you who are maybe a little bit curious and you're thinking, okay, like whatever, it's politics, people speak in hyperbolic statements to kind of just prove points and get everyone's emotions stirring. So you might be thinking, okay, like, are we saying this, or like, what are the actual shots of it? The odds of a government shutdown are high. As of right now, 79% chance, as in a 4 in 5 shot, that the government will be shutting down less than 24 hours from now, according to Polymarket. Same thing here on Kohrs. So both of these two independent event betting websites are saying, yes, we have an 80% shot, a 4 in 5 chance of, yes, the government will be shutting down. So this isn't just political talk to be political talk. It is more likely than not that we actually legitimately get a shutdown. How government shutdowns affect the economy. Obviously, if you're here, you're interested in the market, which means you have to be interested in the economy. And overall, it's not so good. So right here, in this case, a shutdown this week would be more like the government closure 12 years ago, with economists estimating that upwards of 800,000 employees could be furloughed. Pay would be delayed for federal employees who remain at work, such as members of the military. On top of that, the BLS. This is what I made my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory video on yesterday, and I would love to get your thoughts on it. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, said it won't be releasing or collect any economic data during the shutdown, which means the Friday's monthly jobs report is in doubt. Folks, do you appreciate how crazy that is? Do you understand how insane that is? That we're at the point of monetary policy where we literally need as much data as we can to make good decisions. I know everyone, a lot of people, especially on Rumble, you complain about what the Fed is doing and what not doing. Do you realize how silly this is? That they're literally just now not going to have the information, but yet they still have to do their job. And what, they're just supposed to do it dark now? So if this shutdown does happen, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will not be on top of giving us the numbers. They're not going to be collecting other data. And it just keeps going and going. With respect to private businesses, of course, ones like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, they're going to have some furloughed workers. Economic growth, the 34-day partial government shutdown between 2018 and 2019 reduced annualized real gross domestic product by 0.4% in the first quarter of 2019. So across the board, and of course, it's somewhat dependent on how long the shutdown is or isn't, of course, duh. But I just want to let you know, historically, there really could be issues. And this is like one more so related to the parks. But remember, the national parks, they're national parks. They're going to be kept clean and up and running by the government. The travel economy could lose $1 billion every week in a shutdown. So yes, there are far-reaching implications of this. And actually, I'm curious, what did the Democrats have to say recently? What was their major argument here? Let's listen to this. Hang on.
We have very large differences on health care and on their ability to undo whatever budget we agree to through rescissions and through impoundment, as well as pocket rescissions. And I think for the first time, the president heard our objections and heard why we needed a bipartisan bill. Their bill has not one iota of Democratic input. That is never how we've done this before.
We're deadly serious about addressing the Republican-caused healthcare crisis because it's a deadly serious issue for the American people. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history. Hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health clinics closing right now. The fact that more than 20 million Americans are on the brink of experiencing dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles because of the Republican refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
If you look at what Chuck Schumer has said in the past consistently, it's whatever our disagreements are, let's negotiate with them. Let's talk about them. Let's figure out a bipartisan solution, but you don't shut the government down. In other words, you don't put a gun to the American people's head and say, unless you do exactly what Senate and House Democrats want you to do, we're going to shut down your government. That's exactly what they're proposing out there.
This is purely and simply hostage taking on behalf of the Democrats. The Republicans are united. House Republicans, Senate Republicans, President Trump. The House has passed a clean funding resolution to fund the government until November the 21st. It's clean, it is bipartisan, and it is short term. But it gives us enough time to finish the appropriations process, which is the way we should be funding the government.
So to absolutely no one's surprise, this is a classic case of he said, she said. One side is saying, hey, we're doing everything right. We are the good people. We're trying to help out the Americans. The other side, oddly enough, is saying the exact same thing. We're the good people, the other side is bad, and we're trying to help out the Americans. And both are basically united in their messaging of it's insane what the other side is doing. Then obviously, based on you and your political affiliation and own ideology, you're going to assume the same thing, that your side is right and the other side is completely wrong. And I would like to take a breather and suggest that we all take a step back and realize how incredibly stupid this is, that we are electing adults who have the psychosocial development of toddlers making all of these decisions for us. So please keep that in mind, that this is far reaching. There are a lot of implications, but for those of you in here who are active traders, the closest thing where there's going to be a massive implication is right here. Labor Department, the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, won't release Friday's key jobs report and other data if the government shuts down. That is the major thing on the docket for remainder of this week right here. Employment rate, non-farm payrolls. This has a giant question mark on it. Are we going to be getting it? Are we not going to be getting it? If we don't get it and the government stays shut down, what are the implications going to be on the upcoming potential rate cut? Remember, we're talking about October 29th. They're supposed to be making a decision on what is going on with rates on October 29th, and they might be flying completely dark. So I hope it doesn't come there. Obviously, with respect to the overall market, if a resolution is made, I wouldn't be so surprised if we just skyrocket to a new all-time high, because the market likes when you remove uncertainties. But on the flip side, all of a sudden, if we realize that maybe the situation is going to spiral out of control and get worse than we anticipated, well, maybe that's the final straw that broke the camel's back, and we end up snapping this overall trend line. So do I know which way it's going to go or not go? Obviously not. I'm not a politician. I don't get to vote. This is a binary event where you got to pay attention. It seems like we're going to get a shutdown right now. The market's already priced that in. We can all see that there's an 80% chance of it. The question here is, how long is it going to last? When is the solution going to be? How much is each side really going to dig their heels in? If I had the answer to it, I'd be a very, very wealthy man, but I don't, and I don't think anyone does. So we just have to kind of sit around. Now, changing gears a little bit, I didn't really know where to sit this in today's prep show, so I guess it's political, so we might as well put it next. YouTube agrees to pay Trump $24.5 million to settle lawsuit over a suspended account. How much money has this guy gotten from all of these big tech firms and big media who basically said things about him and didn't allow him to do things that he should have been and said inaccurate things? I mean, I don't know the running total, but it has to be over $100 million, doesn't it? YouTube has agreed to pay $24.5 million to settle a lawsuit involving the suspension of President Donald Trump's account following the U.S. Capitol riots on January 6th. Trump sued YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter in 2021 after the company suspended his accounts on their platforms over concerns related to the incitement of violence. Facebook parent Meta said in January that it would pay $25 million to settle its lawsuit with Trump. So between those two right there, we're talking 50 mil. And I feel like the number is just going to go higher and higher and higher. But kind of crazy in retrospect, some of these, I don't know, interesting turns to the stories that we've had where YouTube now not only paying the president, we have Meta coming out saying, hey, the Biden administration forced us to do things. YouTube coming out saying the Biden administration forced us to do things. It's very, very interesting turns. And all of a sudden, some of the conspiracies that are being spouted don't seem that crazy or have actually effectively been proven to be true. So I just wanted to share that. I just thought it was odd. Obviously not going to be the most impactful on the stock market today, but I just wanted to let you know that I guess the president personally just became worth another $25 million more. Now, bringing it to today specifically, Tuesday, right here, September 30th. You are going to be getting at 9:45 the Chicago PMI, 10 a.m. you're getting consumer confidence, 10 a.m. JOLTS job openings, and then at 11 a.m. U.S. President Trump will be speaking. And please don't forget that JP Morgan will be rolling their position. If they do it how they did in the past, it's going to be at some point midday. But don't be surprised if at some point in today's trading session, we see gigantic swings in one direction. Historically, it's been a big dip followed by a big rip. I'm not saying that that's how today's going to go. I'm just letting you know how the recent ones have gone. But that's another thing you have to all consider today to wrap up the month of September. Consumer confidence, JOLTS job openings, president's speech, and a gigantic roll. They are rolling their collar position on the S&P 500. So keep that all in mind. And also keep in mind that right now we are not that far away from the all-time high, but we're also not that far away from breaking down this overall trend. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Very quick note, and I'm more than happy to dive into this a bit more when the market opens. As long as we remain above 6,600, I would argue that the bulls are in control and the bull camp is sitting pretty. Once again, if we remain above 6,600, I think we have a better shot of going to 6,700, 40-ish, 50-ish than anything else. On the flip side, if we snap 6,600, I think we have a very high odds chance of plummeting all the way down to 6,500 based on the current gamma structure, which remember is going to change quite a bit after today. So I just wanted to share that. I also want to let you know, with respect to some individual equities, we have some exciting news. Well, it's exciting for me because I have a position on both of these. CoreWeave reportedly lands a $14 billion deal with Meta. CoreWeave was up 9%. How much is it up right now? It's up 12% in pre-market trading. So very happy on that. Going into this, I had a CoreWeave calls that were down. They were getting their butts handed to them. So I'm very, very excited to see this movement. I feel as if I got crazy lucky. Quick question for all of you in here. How many of you guys are in CoreWeave right now? Is anyone else playing it, or is this just a me thing? I didn't know if we should cover this, not be covering this, but I am actually looking for this technical breakout at 139 this morning, leading us to the next technical level of basically 149. Obviously, there's the downside gap fill now to yesterday's high at 126.50, but some legitimately good news, knocking on the door of a technical breakout, setting up the next potential level of 150. I'm stoked about this. I need more of a follow through though, because like I said, I was down pretty bad, so I'm just hoping honestly to get back to break even. The other one that's getting some interesting news this morning is Oklo right here. Oklo, an advanced nuclear technology company, announced today that the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the NRC, has accepted for review its principal design criteria topical report under an accelerated timeline. So I happen to know nothing about nuclear power at all, but I do know on the announcement of that news, we are seeing a bit of a pop in the stock. So it was getting hit, a little bit of a rebound, maybe another worthwhile one to be putting on your radar today. So I wanted to share both of those. Let me go back to the overall market. If you haven't already, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. It is 100% free. It's always been free, always will be free. Every single Sunday, your email inbox, you will see a breakdown of the market, a cheat sheet for all the major macroeconomic reports, a cheat sheet for the earnings. I did want you guys to know that today historically is leaning a bit bearish. Recently, it's been selling off. But for the first chunk of data, it was actually bullish, so kind of a trend change almost. And then later on this week, Wednesday leaning bullish, Thursday in neutral leaning bearish, and then Friday clearly bullish. So I wanted to put that all on your radar. Also, don't forget, there is a Goonie trading Discord when we're talking about CoreWeave and Oklo and all that stuff. I want to let you guys know you can sign up for the Discord. You could trade with me. You could trade with the other amazing community members. Your first month is 100% free. Just use that code Goonie. And if you're wondering if it's worth it, well, first of all, it's free. There is a Piper signal in there. Piper didn't fire, but here I gave proof of my own trades. I played that downside gap fill even on stream with all of you guys yesterday. I explained what I was thinking, what I wasn't thinking. And you could see here, I got some puts. I went long puts to play the downside gap fill, in at 19, out at 22.30. I had 20 of them, $300 gain per one, 300 and change, made about 6.5K. So if you do the math on that trade, if you agreed with it, if you liked it, you could have paid for an entire decade of you being in the Discord with your fellow degenerate buddies. So just want to call that out, that in fact, I know some people in here say I don't have any skin in the game, but that was right there, $6.5 thousand worth of skin yesterday. All right, on that note, I should probably be doing a little bit here to get you guys a bit more ready. All right. Let's get Oklo, maybe Tesla this morning. Tesla slightly down, Nvidia slightly up, Palantir slightly down. Robinhood, oh, I forgot to talk about this. Robinhood exploded to new all-time highs yesterday. I currently don't have a position, but if you happen to be in there, massive congrats to you. All right, early this morning, 5-minute bullish, 10-minute testing, 30-minute testing, 4-hour bullish. 5-minute bullish, 10-minute bullish, 30-minute testing, 4-hour bullish. So momentum slightly more bullish, but that's just because of the bounce we got off of that early pre-market dip. So right now, I would say we're kind of in no man's land with respect to momentum, but more important than that, I would say let's just pay attention to the flow today. Let's pay attention. I'm expecting big movement intraday because of that JP Morgan roll. And don't forget the 10 a.m. consumer confidence. And also don't forget the 11 a.m. president speech. So we have all that stuff. I did want to show you the kind of overall gamma structure. We're roughly in the realm of 6,640. Negative gamma happens up here just above 6,700. And right here, you can see why I think we have big support at 6,600. I want this to hold. If it doesn't hold, we might be talking about 6,500. So overall, we're still in positive gamma, which is supportive. That's part of the reason why the bull case has been winning for weeks now, is we're just always having all this great positive gamma below us. Remember, positive gamma, let me just show you. Let me zoom out right here. We're positive gamma. This is suggestive that dips will be bought. Is that a guarantee? No, but when you have that much positive gamma, it means you have quite a bit of support. Now, obviously, at any moment, something random can get announced, something can happen. I'm obviously mindful of that, but I just want to let you know we are still in this tranche of positive gamma. And if things get bad, yeah, we can absolutely push, but the bulls have more support than the bears do have resistance. But once again, that's through the context of gamma structure and not necessarily through the context of what in the world is going on with government shutdowns and things of that nature. So we could return to that as the bell's about to go dingity ding ding ding. I do want to remind you, this is the final half day to take advantage of the Apex deal. Not only do you get 80% off with that code Goonie, but right now, this is the right here. 80% off and the $85 lifetime PA fees. So if you want to take advantage of that, like I said, use that code Goonie, 80% off, and you can get some dirt cheap upgrade fees if you're a degenerate and are able to get some of your stuff passed today. On top of that, if you like playing the bigger counts, 150, 250, and 300 are all the same price at $80. So I just want to let you know, it is pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Today's your final half day. Basically, you have till midnight tonight. So not only is the government shutting down, but Apex is going to be shutting down this deal. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Well, my apologies. I didn't get done fast enough to do my degenerate bet with you guys, but I do have some key levels to talk about. So as I always do, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. The white box is the transition zone, bullish above, bearish below, choppy within. And then the yellow lines are all the key open interest levels where we just see a lot of players putting a lot of money on the line. So it wouldn't be the craziest thing to see the market react to it. So feel free to write these down. Feel free to screenshot it. But these are all the key levels I'm personally watching for the S&P 500. The NASDAQ, as I always do, I mark out the pre-market, well, technically the overnight trading, the post-market and pre-market, the high and the low. It doesn't take much research to realize that the over the extended hours trading from the previous session, or really going into the session, the high and the low is taken out almost more than 90% of the time. So it's not really a directional call out, but if you get an idea of what the direction is, those are very good target levels because they're hit so commonly. So obviously, with that in mind, the harder problem here is to really be discerning which direction you should be going and you shouldn't be going. But I just want to call that out here, that you might, if you're trading on Apex or something like that, or whatever, take profit trader, if you're trading NQ, you might be want to watch 24,850, and you also might want to watch 24,750. So we're basically in this 100-point range, either waiting for that breakout or waiting for that breakdown. And I feel strongly, especially with everything on the docket today, that we're going to be breaking one of those, maybe even potentially both. So I wanted to call that out. And here we have that. Okay, good, good, good. We're waiting for the opening session to do what it wants to do. And then last but not least, I have a question for all of you. Investors are fretting that the stock market rally is on borrowed time. Stocks run to record yield, worries about overheating and stretched valuations. You know what's kind of funny? Is I feel like we've gotten a headline like that every single week since like 23. We're like, oh, wow, we bounced a lot. And then we kept bouncing, and then we got hit, and then it kept bouncing, and then we got hit, then we kept bouncing, and then we got hit, then we kept bouncing, then we got hit, then we kept bouncing. Like, is this just what mainstream financial media is saying now? It's just like, if you always say this, inherently you're right, because you're like, oh, look it, we were right, we took a hit. But then guess what happens right after that anyway? I just feel like sometimes I'm getting so tired of it. Like, generically, this is the stock market, folks. Is there any other chart you need to know when it comes to you and your money in the long-term market? Just be a bull. Is there any more convincing chart in the entire world that all you have to do, if you don't want to trade, day trade, scalp trade, swing trade, if you just want to invest, you buy the market, look at this thing. Like, I just don't get it. Like, as soon as it gets like, all right, and they say it every single time. So I guess with that, I wanted to bounce it off of you. Investors are fretting. Are you fretting? Or like everything is on borrowed time? Yeah, like I guess just there's so many things about this that I just don't like how they worded it. Like, no shit, eventually you go down. No shit, eventually you go up. If you're always screaming like incoming bear day, incoming bull day, if you say it long enough, of course it's going to eventually happen. Of course it's going to eventually happen. That's how it works. Like, if you're always just like, if you never give like a real account as in time, if you're like, no, bull day's coming, inherently, if you say that every single day, every single week, eventually you are going to be right. And the opposite is also true. If you're always like, a bull day's coming, a bull week's coming, eventually you're true. It's just like, it's kind of one of those things that when they say it, at first it sounds like it's something special. And in reality, you're just kind of like, oh, no, duh. Like, no shit, that's just how this works. Like, I'm so confused on why allegedly respected financial publications are saying shit that is so incredibly brain dead. So incredibly brain dead. But anyway, where are we at? Let me go to the daily. Let me go to this. Let's go to the 1 minute. You have all the key levels. We're actually at a key level right now. But overall, nothing too fancy to blow your skirt up, if you ask me, because we're still overall in this transition zone. I would prefer that we find support either now or at latest by the low of yesterday. I don't want to make a new low. I'd feel much better finding support right at 50, bouncing back up to 61. Remember, hitting the previous day's closing value in the next trading session is also statistically very high. So I would love for us to take out that closing value and then push to the top side of this bound. Right now, the opening part is not so good, but let's not get too crazy. Remember, there's a lot of time left in the day, especially in today's game where we have so much happening. So much happening. The flow is not good thus far. We are trending down on the Mag 7. We are trending down on the SPY, but maybe can potentially catching a little bit of a bid here right at that 50, the technical level, the psychological level, the open interest level. It's also pretty much the downside gap fill that we got yesterday, not that far away from the low. So it wouldn't be the most insane thing if buyers decide to step in here. I'll keep watching this flow to see what's going on. And please do not forget about the fact breakdown, still bullish. Breakdown, still bullish. So the 5 minute, 10 minute, and 30 minute on both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ as of now, not looking so good. I'm just hoping that this right here can hold. Well, if you're a bull, you're hoping this can hold. If you're a bear, you're hoping very much that it gets cracked. We almost hit that pre-market low. We got real close. How close was that? That was 57, and we dipped all the way down to, well, we're looking for a dip to 54. So this is what I'm talking about. It is useful for you for the extended hours trading to mark out the extremes because they're just so commonly not only a target, but it's also where you see a lot of reaction too. So it's good to know where maybe these potential inflection point levels are. I mean, look at that. We got all the way down to it. And now we've already had a 30-point bounce. That's just, that's pretty crazy. Maybe finding support here. Let's see. Hood is going. CoreWeave is going. Am I back to break even? I've been in a bad CoreWeave position. I've been babying that for a second. And I am finally back into the green. Finally. I've been babying this for a while. So this is the number that matters, the unrealized return. I'm up 2.6K. But look at that one-day return because of the gap up. Folks, nothing about skill to be seen here. Just pure, unadulterated luck. Just pure luck. I would love for that thing to keep going. CoreWeave. Obviously, you have the technical downside gap fill at 126.50, and then there's also the next technical breakout is 148.80. I'm getting an alert on Oklo, which is now going back to looking like shit, even though it had a good announcement this morning. Tesla breaking down the previous low, not the biggest fan of that. Nvidia hanging out pretty much right at its all-time high. Palantir not doing much. Hood looking amazing. Broadcom potentially breaking down. Microsoft doing nothing. Apple doing nothing. Meta getting clocked. Meta, part of Meta's right now is there is this idea that there actually might be a whole new social media competitor. So that's part of why Meta isn't looking so good. Oracle not looking the best. Coin actually looking pretty decent, maybe putting in a higher low right there. Hut not doing anything. Netflix violently not doing anything. Rum not doing anything. Open putting in a lower high, breaking a previous low. We'll just set up this. Like I said, it's a pump and dump. Eventually this thing is going to go back down to whatever, being a penny stock. It's a trash company. It's clearly a pump and dump. It does not have a strong fundamental business whatsoever. Rigetti on the lower end of this technical. Qubits looking kind of weak right here. IONQ definitely putting in a top. AMD doing nothing. MSTR maybe bouncing a little. SoFi taking a breather off that high. BITX nothing this morning. DJT nothing. Texas Roadhouse bouncing a bit there. Vol is slightly up, but nothing too crazy. Okay. It seems like the fun one to watch as of today, as of right now, is CoreWeave. That's the one that's gotten some movement, and Robinhood. So the top right and the bottom right of your screen definitely has some interesting levels. Interesting levels. Hang on. We did take that out. Hang on. What time? I need to set up an order over here. What time is it? Right. Oh, how is this trade going to get executed? All right, we're going to slap in an order.
Order submitted.
All right, I have a pending
Order submitted.
I have a pending order, and I hope I did it right. We're going to find out. We're going to see, are we bouncing or busting from this right here? Are we about to pop all the way back up and eat up all this mismatched equilibrium, or are we actually going to fail at the pre-market low and keep vomiting potentially all the way down to 700? Time will tell. Honestly, wow, Hood just keeps going. Hood, look at that. CoreWeave is up in most relative to yesterday's close, but intraday, look at that push in Hood. I wouldn't be so surprised if we bounce here, folks. I really wouldn't. Not only are we at a key level in the NASDAQ, we're also at a key level right here in the S&P 500. And remember, the odds of hitting the previous close value are pretty high, which is another 10 points higher on SP or SPX, which is about $1 in SPY. So I wonder if this is going to be the actual low. Or is it going to fail? Maybe to help us discern that, you can see right here, the Mag 7 has vomited for the first 8 minutes, going flat ever since. The S&P 500 was flat, did vomit, trying to catch a little bit of a bounce off of 50. The golden question is it going to hold? Is it going to hold? Your guess is as good as mine, but we're about to find out. All I can tell you is we're right at a key level. This idea of trying to predict a bounce or a breakout is a very, very silly thing to do. It's a great way to lose money, to be like, no, we have to bounce here. No, we have to break down here. If you're bullish, great. You could buy the breakout. You're risking the recent low. If you're bearish, wait for the breakdown. You're risking a recent local high. And then you're hoping that your prediction does work. But to sit there and predict, no, just let the market tell you what's going on. And then not only do you think you have a good idea of current trend, do you think the trend's going to continue? Can you take advantage of it with a low risk opportunity? I would say that most people are pretty good at identifying trend. Right here, you'd be like, yeah, that's trending down. It doesn't take much. But I think a lot of people, once they identify trend, sometimes they stop there and be like, okay, that's good enough to trade on. And it's not. Not only do you want to identify trend, but can you ride the current trend with low risk? I think it's that final part that a lot of retail traders forget about, and you do not want to be forgetting about that. Not at all. Oklahom's getting hit. Tesla is at 440-ish. There is support there. NVIDIA is slightly green. Palantir's back to 180. Palantir's looking good. Avago, not so much. Hood is looking good. CoreWeave is looking good. Palantir is looking good. Tesla, not so much. So I would say if you're in the bull camp, Hood is looking very strong. Palantir is looking very strong. CoreWeave is looking very strong. Tesla, not so much. Oklo, not so much. NVIDIA is not. NVIDIA's flat. Broadcom's down. Microsoft got hit, is now flat. Apple's giving up. Meta got hit and is now flat. So Hood's looking bullish. Palantir was looking bullish. Can it hold 180 and really keep going here? What was the daily chart looking like on Palantir? Okay, 184 is the breakout, 174 is the breakdown. So we're still kind of in this range from Thursday of last week. So nothing too nuts going on over there. Okay, which way is the SPY going to go? Is 938 going to be the low that we're bouncing off of, or are we just putting in a lower high and we're about to puke? We are going to find out. We are going to find out. Please let me remind you at Palantir taking a bit of a hit. CoreWeave going back up. At 10 a.m. in about 15 minutes, we are getting the consumer confidence. Also, we're going to be getting the JOLTS job openings. Actually, that means that Rick Santilli, our boy Rick, should be coming on. So let's get that queued up. You never want to miss a day with Rick, in all reality. Flow is starting to improve. Flat got hit, starting to improve about 8 minutes into the day. Same thing with the Mag 7. Was getting hit, bottomed out about 8 minutes into the day, and ever since 12 minutes in, we're seeing some positive flow. Which stock is that? It is not AMD. It is not Apple. It is not Broadcom. It is not Coinbase. CoreWeave is looking good. Robinhood is looking good. Microsoft, no. MicroStrategy, no. Meta, no. Netflix, no. NVIDIA, yes. NVIDIA, so for all my NVIDIA enthusiasts, catching a pretty strong bid. Oracle, no. Palantir, yes. NVIDIA and Palantir have really good flow. And Tesla also recovering. So maybe that's a question mark one, maybe worthwhile for you to watch the structure. But NVIDIA looking strong, Palantir looking strong, CoreWeave looking strong, and Tesla might be pivoting from weak to strong. The old razzle dazzle. The old razzle dazzle. The old razzle dazzle. SPY. It's going for it. We found support right at that key level at 50. Your next target is 61. Then you're watching 65. Then you're watching 75. 65 is another key open interest level, but really the top of the choppy zone is up here at 75. So I like the fact that we found support between the high from yesterday. No, the high from 2 days ago, the low from yesterday, and the key open interest. I love that the bulls stepped up here, but let's see. Is it all a fake out? Is it only a little bit of a push, or are we going to have enough follow through to actually make this worthwhile? Time will tell. Time will tell. Where's our boy Rick? Where's our boy Rick? I just got some sort of alert. What was it? Coinbase. Where's Coinbase? Coinbase. I got an alert on Coinbase. Breakout. Oh, upside gap fill. COIN, just getting that upside gap fill for the low on Friday, September the 19th. So if you're in coin and you played that bounce, congrats to you. The next breakout level would be about 352. And then there's another upside gap fill to 376. Once again, for those of you playing COIN. Right now, SPX just barely made a new intraday high for the RTH, the regular trading hours. But right here, we are watching 6661.20. That is the closing value from yesterday. You might be thinking, why are we watching the closing value from yesterday? And the answer is with high statistical likelihood in the next trading session, you hit the previous trading session's closing value. As in, there's a very high chance at some point today, we hit yesterday's closing value. There's a discussion of why that happens, why it doesn't happen. And my answer to that is, does it really matter? Because what matters is the fact that that is like a tradable event, something for you to pay attention to. Google, I'm not the biggest fan of Google, and it's because of all their lawsuits. I just find that I have no real legal acumen. Well, that's a lower high. It feels like, and there's a downside gap fill. It feels like it got a little bit too hot too quickly, and officially now we have that first lower high. Got one downside gap fill. There's another downside gap fill. So from a technical perspective, maybe if it turns back around, I'd be a bit interested in it. Maybe if you get that trend line breakout, I'd be a bit interested in it. I would be mindful of this 50 EMA. I would be mindful of the downside gap fill. I would be mindful that they just lost their lawsuit to Trump. And I would also be mindful of the fact that they have a lot of other lawsuits cooking. So from like a technical perspective, I'm not against Google, like what they do as a tech company. But as a trader and an investor, the fact that any random day they might get good or bad news related to their lawsuits, it makes it a really tough thing to be in, a really, really tough thing to be in, at least in my opinion. And here's a look at the flow. It was flat and now it's up a little bit. Nothing too special with respect to flow. All right, what are we doing? Hood is still holding. CoreWeave looks like it's picking up for round two. Palantir is going now. So it seems like the interesting ones to watch are all on the top of this right here, right under Bitcoin. CoreWeave, Hood, Palantir, Tesla, and NVIDIA. Not necessarily in that order, but they're all ones that from either a technical perspective, an options flow perspective, a news perspective, or really a combo of the three, I think all deserve a place on your watch list today. CoreWeave, Hood, Palantir, and NVIDIA, and maybe a little bit of Tesla if it can keep holding that 440 level. All right, we are about 10 minutes out from the report and an hour and 10 minutes out from Trump's speech. I do want to remind you, Apex, this is the final day. You have 16 hours left, 80% off evals with that code Goonie, but it's better than that. Also, if you're able to degenerately pass some of your tests today, the fee to go from eval to performance is only $85 instead of $140, $145. So there's a nice discount there. So that deal ending in 16 hours. So if you want to take advantage of the 10 a.m. volatility, the 11 a.m. volatility, the midday volatility, and maybe be a little bit of a degen to try to pass those tests. If you are fortunate to pass, it will be cheaper for you to upgrade, and that deal is ending in 16 hours to wrap up not only the month, but also the quarter. All right, we are having a double top situation on the SPY. Let's see if we could put in a higher low, or let's see if we're about to get cracked. Let's see what in the world is happening. Could be a higher low. If we right here, clearly we were down. We found a little bit of a base, and about 10 minutes into the day, we popped. We got equal highs. Granted, the Qs did not. That's still a lower high. The question is, are we going to breach this low? Obviously, on the S&P 500, we're still watching this key level of 6650. Very important. And then also on NQ right here, we are basically watching this pre-market low. Like, are we going to be taking that out? Are we going to be taking that out? It'd be nice to hold 66 here, this recent one, because that might just be confirming a little short-term bear trend. Watching this on, do we bounce here? Do we bounce before making a fresh low? That's the golden question. And also, we might be able to discern something a little bit early on flow. Strong bullish pop up until 945, then taking a little bit of a hit. I believe some stuff just came out at 945. Yeah, right here. The Chicago PMI came out at 40.6. They expected 43.4. Obviously, the market not the most stoked about that report as of this moment. Yeah, pretty much this pop-up stopped at 9:45 a.m. We popped and popped and popped right until that announcement came out. And then obviously the market not reacting to it the best. Oh, I wonder if I should pull my pending order right now because we're getting pretty close to that 10 a.m. announcement. QQQ going to fill that gap. There is a downside gap fill on the Qs. Something to be mindful of, I suppose. Oh, what do I want to do? Do I want to pull this order or no? Oh, decisions. All right, we've successfully double topped, and now we're questioning, are we double bottoming on the SPY? We've hit the same highs, we've hit the same lows. Palantir just randomly taking a hit right now. CoreWeave turning the other way. NVIDIA, a little bit of a hit. Hood, okay. Everything starting around 950, taking a wee bit of a breather. The question is, will we put... Yeah, I need to pull this order.
Order
All
canceled.
Right. I'm pulling my order. I don't know which way this is going to go. We're not clearly trending. Price was down, then it was up, then it was down. Options flow was down and then up and now flat. Options flow was flat, down, up. Like, it's just, we're not trending today. And when you're not trending, it's a tough one to make money. So let's just wait. It's a game of patience to see if a trend is created. And if a trend isn't created, well, then we just really didn't do anything. You don't have to rush it. The Russell is down as well today. So the SPY, Qs, and Russell are all down. Bitcoin is down. We have some green equities. Apple actually going green. Meta's getting hit. Microsoft slightly red. Avago slightly red. Oklo giving up its early morning gains. Tesla's down by 1%, not holding 440. Would like to see it recover there. Well, golly. Patience, folks. Let's Let's not rush anything. Let's not rush it. We are waiting about 6 more minutes. 6 more minutes to get the 10 a.m. announcement stuff. JOLTS jobs right here. Consumer confidence at 10 a.m. JOLTS job openings 10 a.m. President speaking at 11 a.m. Consumer confidence, the line in the sand is 96. JOLTS job openings, the line in the sand is 7.19 million. Once again, both of these data points are going to be released at 10 a.m. today. These two are not caught up in the whole, like, if the government shuts down thing, like, they're not going to get it because the government's not going to shut down till midnight tonight. Fuck, I could have taken that trade. I would have made a good amount of money too. 15 points. Damn. Looks like I do want to let everyone know we just got the downside gap fill. That was another pretty evident play. It was a slight overshoot of the pre-market low, but QQQ filling the gap in the chart. You could see before today, there was a literal gap in the chart between Friday's high and Monday's low. This gap, when unfilled, we just got it. So also don't be so surprised if this is a bit of a bounce opportunity in all reality. A bit of a bounce opportunity because maybe people are more than happy to take their short-term, short bearish profits right there. If you're wondering what the SPY did get its downside gap fill yesterday. So that got successfully hit yesterday. Successfully hit. All right. Is that all we did? Can we bounce now? At this point, we cleaned up the chart to the downside. The SPY and the Qs both got their downside gap fills. SPY yesterday, Qs today. I wonder if this is now going to be the decision-making point. You could see SPX is simply just pinned to a key level, 6650. So the market really doesn't want to move it out of this equilibrium before we get these announcements. So it's basically, at least for the morning session, it's coming down to these two announcements. We got the downside gap fill, something we don't necessarily have to be so concerned about anymore. Jeez, this is going to get interesting, folks. This is going to get interesting. All right, we are a couple minutes out. We are a couple minutes out. Couple minutes. Let's get that rocking. What's everyone's best guess? Are they playing it today? Do I need to reload this? Here, let me reload this. Let's see how things are looking going into it. Come on, loading. All right.
But the quality
Jimbo's
is very
talking.
apologetic, and I think people should read it when you see somebody who's honest enough like Rob, and he sent me a really good note last night, basically again saying
Mag 7 flow just took a pretty sizable hit out of nowhere.
We talked to
What was
yesterday,
it?
and money movers tried to probe for signs of softness.
Tesla
they
took
wouldn't
a hit
offer any.
right at
No,
954.
and Vail's not blaming the customer. Amen. Thank
Nvidia
you, Rob.
took a hit.
Thank you for doing it right for not blaming.
Meta's been taking
Jim,
a
on your
hit.
book again, congratulations.
Microsoft
You
took a
make
big
your way
hit.
to the bookstore
Yes,
now.
and Barnes and Noble.
Apple took a hit as well. So the Mag 7 got hit pretty hard right here, 954.
My colleagues, I thank you very much for everything that you did. Read the
Got the
back.
downside
You'll
gap
like-
fill, and thus
Yeah,
far
you'll
we're
like
getting
it.
a bounce
I like
right
it
off
all.
that downside gap fill.
Well, there you go.
Question is, will
And I
it
like you.
hold?
Oh, thank you. All right.
I
would
didn't credit
recommend-
your mother. I should have put your
No,
mother.
yeah,
in. That
of
was my
course,
biggest
always. Yeah,
mistake.
she always should come first. I'll let you know which subway line to take is best to get you to 46 and 5th.
Someone
I'll
said
text you.
A,
I'll
B,
let you
and
know.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, my
the Q?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't do the Q.
Z.
You want something down here.
All right.
Jim, we'll see you tonight,
Thank
and some will see you before. Of course, Jim and signing his new book. We're back in a minute.
All right, we're gearing up, folks. We have about a minute 45. Dude, one of my data streams, my other computer over here is just like freaking out right now. just screaming alerts at me. I guess I got disconnected. Hang on. Is this data feed still working? We have Bookmap here. This is looking good. You have the point of control at 24,800. You have VWAP just below at 24,795. Is this data feed working? Yeah, the big players really haven't touched in one net direction, the New York side. So this data feed is all fine. So on this computer, my issue is specific to that computer. That's weird. That is weird. Weird. But I guess it is. I guess this is the important one. If one had to work and one had to freak out, I'd rather this one. I'm not freaking out. You're freaking out. Well, we're about to find out what way we are going. All right. Come on, give us our boy Rick. The volume's on. We're ready to go. We are 20 seconds out. 20 seconds out. What's it going to be? Here's your 1 minute chart of both the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. Remember, you have that closing value on SPX at, people are getting amped up going into it. 5 seconds leading into this, they were buying. Will there be follow through? Okay. Consumer confidence, we don't have that yet. JOLTS job openings higher than expected. JOLTS job openings coming in higher than expected. We are pushing that closing value at 661. That's a good target for my short-term traders. And it looks like NQ is maybe wanting to switch this trend. We got the downside gap fill at 9:55, 5 minutes before the report. And let's see if it could take out 806. And then really you care about the intraday high at 831. Will there be enough of a follow through? That's the real question. Okay, consumer confidence coming in at 94.2. They were expecting 96. So JOLTS job openings better, higher than expected. And then consumer confidence coming in lower than expected. So a little bit of a mixed report there. I do want to let you know that at 11 a.m. in 1 hour, President Trump will be speaking. And I also want to let you know at some point today, you're going to see craziness, more than you've already seen in Hero because of the JP Morgan roll. They have to roll their collar today because it expires today.
Good
NVIDIA's looking good.
Welcome to Squawk on the Street. I'm Sarah Eisen with Carl Quintanilla and David Faber. We are live as always.
Tesla may be
from
trying to
Post 9
bounce.
at the New York Stock Exchange. Take a look at stocks this morning. We're under a little bit of pressure, although not really. The S&P 500 is unchanged, masking some of the strength beneath the surface. CoreWeave, for instance,
we're pretty much break even now on the S&P 500.
The Dow is up about 59 points. We are waiting the job openings report any
NVIDIA
minute
is still
now.
going. That should be helping out.
Ahead of that, as it looks increasingly likely we're barreling toward this government shutdown. 10-year yield.
Look at the
4.1%,
Mag 7
so
flow
some
today.
buying
That's so
of
disgusting.
treasuries. That's been a trend so far this week. Coming up this hour, countdown to the shutdown. We'll talk to former Trump administration official Mark Short about the wide-ranging impacts of a government stoppage, how long it could last. Plus, NVIDIA competitor Cerebras Systems just raising more than $1 billion in new funding at an $8.1 billion valuation. We'll talk to the company CEO in a first on CNBC interview. Also ahead, Jimmy Fallon with us ahead of tonight's launch of his new business competition show, On Brand.
Jimmy Fallon?
With Jimmy Fallon.
On
Lots
CNBC?
to talk about with the late night host. But for now, Carl, technology, healthcare materials, only sectors green.
Conference board and JOLTS on the tape as well. Let's get to Rick Santelli again. Hey,
Here's
Rick.
our boy Rick.
Yes,
Rick will
on
set us
JOLTS,
straight.
This is an August read. Openings expected to be right around 7.2 million. A little bit extra horsepower, 7,227,000. That'll be the best number since, well, just June. But in the rearview mirror, a nice upward revision. Last month, originally reported 7,181,000, becomes 7,208,000. 7,208,000 makes
Something's
it the
going on
second
with
weakest.
CNBC.
The big number month now is March at 7,200,000, the lowest job openings of the year. If we look at Conference Board, these are September confidence numbers, and boy, they're disappointing. If we look at the headline, well below expectations at 94.2, the weakest since April of this year, sequentially lower, even though there was subtle positive revisions to all three metrics last month. If we look at the present situation, another big disappointment, 125.4, the weakest in September of 2024. well below 132.4 in the rearview mirror for our August final. And finally, expectations at 73.4. That is the weakest since June of this year, and much sequentially lower, of course, than 74.7. So confidence disappoints. Positive revision and a better JOLTS number on the openings. We made the low yield of the session in treasuries on those data points. That's coming in right around 410 plus on a 10-year. Sarah, back to you.
Okay, thank you. Perhaps those job openings data take on a little more importance if we don't get the monthly jobs report on Friday. We will still get ADP, though, on Wednesday. That's the private sector jobs. But, guys, it's the end of the quarter, so I just wanted to look at some interesting moves across markets that we don't necessarily always pay close attention to. The first, star performer, gold, really shining again during the month of September, during the quarter, and so far the year. It's just been the steady climb up. It's up 16%, as you can see, for the quarter on gold. It's tracking for its best year since 1979, up more than 45%. Why? Dollar's weaker. I don't know. Let's watch it during a shutdown. Is it a safe haven status? The Chinese buying.
All right, I put in all my safety stops. I'm now long.
You hear about gold. It's notable that it's up so much at a time where it hasn't been kind of like this risk-off scary period for the markets. Where it's
about to already get clocked. It was a really tight sell.
Yeah, as well. And then
I was basically risking the low right here.
It's
just got
clocked. Watching into the shutdown because of all the markets. How everybody says stocks and bonds
risk.
brush off
It
shutdowns.
happens.
Dollar has typically actually reacted negatively around shutdowns. Dollar is what you watch when you're worried about, government credibility and politics, Fed credibility. I remember Ken Griffin last week telling me that he thinks the weak dollar could be signifying something about credibility of U.S. assets, including Fed independence. That's a big theme for him. Look at the dollar index. It's weaker right now, and year to date, it's down 10%. That is a pretty sizable decline for the U.S. dollar.
I wonder if I just got wicked out.
Helps explain the rise in gold, but also, I think, leads to some bigger questions about what ultimately that means about the allure of U.S. assets.
Yeah, some commentary out of the ECB today about the euro.
All right, we don't need that anymore. All right, so we have all the numbers. Seems like at first the surface level, superficial level, if you will, better than expected, but then some of the previous revisions, not so much, but very much a mixed bag, arguably. Right there. The Mag 7's holding. The SPY, some crazy shit's going on right there. We are all over the fucking map today, team. We are all over the map. I took a little baby long. I got clocked really, really quick. Like, really quick. It happens. I just didn't, in case it vomited, I didn't want to blow out the accounts. But I'm looking to see if we have some form of a reversal maybe coming up. Because we did, even though right here, this high at 1004, clearly higher than the 945. So I like the succession of higher highs. However, you could argue, but hey, Matt, that's a lower low from 939 to 955. Same thing on the SPY. We have higher highs and lower lows. So I'm trying to pay attention to this next low. Is the next low going to be a higher low that, once again, can we take advantage of a low risk situation? I try to get going here. I try to use this one. I try to get real cute and quick with it just in case we popped up to the closing value. Obviously, the market had a different opinion. I took a paper cut. It happens. It's a trade. Like, you're not going to hit everyone. I don't mind that at all. And in all reality, I got out. It would have been worse off if I didn't get out when I did. In all reality, what time is it? Okay. What time is it? 82 is interesting. Finding support at that pre-market low again. Can we take out 82? 82, 83. I'm going to be very tempted, depending on Mag 7's holding. SPY took a hit right there. Patience. Currently flat. In terms of my day trades, scalp trades, and that stuff. I do like that the SPY and the Qs made a new high. Can we make a higher low? The market digesting that news in kind of an interesting fashion. Doesn't know the most to make of it. NVIDIA had a big pop there for 9:55 to 10:03. So 8 minutes of looking pretty good, giving a little bit back now, right in that all-time high territory. Right in that all-time high. The question is this the low? Are we going to get enough strength to bounce out of here? Mag 7 flow showing nothing. SPY a little bit of an uptick, but maybe nothing too special at the moment. The question is, can we get in with minimal risk? That is forever the goal. Minimal risk, minimal risk, minimal risk. You're going to be wrong about half the time, folks. That's just something you got to accept. That's a brutal aspect of trading. Of course, you can increase your accuracy, but that means you're most likely having asymmetric reward to your risk. If you want to be a trader who's right 95% of the time, there's a very good chance that the only way mathematically you're getting that to happen is the concept of having low reward and high risk. If you have low reward, high risk, you can kind of skew the numbers a little bit, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily net profitable. All right, interesting. Market momentum. Look how on the 5-minute, I think this is probably the best depiction of how chaotic today has been. We started off bullish, push bearish, push back bullish, push bearish, push bullish, now back bearish. I think the 5-minute and looking at the EMA, it shows you started off bullish, push bearish, bounce back, got hit, bounce back, got rejected, hit again. Like, I think this is actually the most telling thing. Looking at the 5-minute and the 10-minute on ES and NQ, ES is even more telling of how like the market has no idea which way it wants to go at the moment. NQ definitely leaning a little bit more bearish, but also keep in mind that not even 10 minutes ago we were pushing to go bullish. So both are pretty crazy in really both directions. My swing plays are all bullish right now, just to be open and transparent. But remember, swing trading and looking at a 1-minute chart are two very, very, very different things. This might be my opportunity. All right, taking a stab at it, risking this recent low. Risking the recent low. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I have no idea. I have no idea. We're going to see if this is the actual low. I'm literally risking this 10-10 low right here. That's it. Baby risk. Baby risk that's about to get clocked. Dude, is this going to be death death by a fucking 1,000 paper cuts? That wick got me in. Started to reverse. We wicked up, took out that high, that high, that high. Wicked, fuck. I mean, it's paper cuts, but how many, at a certain point, how many paper cuts do you want to take? How many paper cuts do you want to take? What's going to be frustrating about that is I still wouldn't be so surprised if we just bounce right out of here. All right, I'm keeping it small. I'm attempting to create a position to see if we could ride it back up to the closing value from yesterday. I just don't want to take on much risk because, I mean, if you talk to any trader who's survived this game for long enough, the name of the game is keep your risk very, very low. But that 10-11 bar just kind of fucked me pretty good because it opened up. We broke the high, broke the high, broke the high, double bottom. Nope, pukes on this one. And watch this, knowing my luck, it's coming back anyway. I'm going to have to get a worse fill. Yep, it's already coming back. Wicked me out. I was a point away from the bottom of that son of a bitch. But let's see. The ATR is picking up a little bit. Things are getting a bit more jumpy right now. Fuck, I can't believe that wick got me in. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. It's going to get me back in right here. How many times can I get wicked on this? All right, I have to. I mean, it's the system. But, geez, it gets painful. That gets painful. Oh, what are these levels? Okay, so this level is 831 and this level is 856. Do I just swing it today and just go for this other side, the 856? Oh, I would love to just get a freebie play and get my stop to break even. That's really what I want to do instead of just like I'm doing the same thing. I'm playing with very close risk. I'm trying to keep my risk as low as I possibly can. And all I can tell you is we're at a key level. You have a 50-50 shot of bouncing or breaking. 50-50 shot. And I am not here attempting to predict. Obviously, I took a long position because I'm thinking, okay, cool. I know the odds of hitting the closing value. I know, well, technically that did hit on SPX, but I see that we're at support, and when we're at support, maybe you bounce. My risk is this recent low, but if I'm right, I get to ride it all the way back up to 31 to 56. So the risk reward is skewed in my favor to be a bull here than to be a bear. That doesn't mean I'm right. There's a 50% chance that I'm wrong, but I'm saying in the event that I'm in the grouping of being right, my risk is low, my reward is high. It's pretty much that simple. But in terms of the accuracy of this one individual play, I'm going to be the first to tell you it is 50-50. It's flipping a coin. But you can be net profitable flipping coins when you keep your losses small and manageable and your rewards large. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. I know that that's going to be different from what a lot of you are told and what a lot of you believe, because you believe what you've been told so many times, and it doesn't take much effort to go on social media and realize that everyone is like just allegedly trading this system that never loses, and if they do lose, it's break even, and other than that, they're winning all the time, and it's these huge gains. That's not real trading. They're so full of shit. If that was true, they wouldn't be giving it to you for pennies on the dollar. They wouldn't be wasting their time fighting with people on social media. Like it doesn't make sense. So folks, especially for day trading, especially for swing trading, your accuracy's good. Like, just accept the fact that it's 50-50. Just accept that. Keep your losses small and let your winners ride. That's how you have a shot in a random data set of being net profitable. That's how you have a shot of doing it. Okay, here's a look at the flow. Mag 7 picking up. This is another part of the reason of why I was leaning a little bit more bullish, because not only were we at support on NQ, not only were we at support on SPX, but I also saw that the options flow was picking up on the Mag 7, and it was earlier picking up, got hit, and now I'm kind of getting lucky on the SPY recently picking up. But I kept looking at this and thinking, wow, even though price is taking a hit, the Mag 7 flow is holding pretty steadily. So that was another piece of the reasoning, I suppose, just to chit chat. 5 minute trying to push bullish, 10 minute trying to push bullish, 30 minute trying to get above this 50 EMA and push bullish. The 4 hour is bullish on the SPY. The NQ is pushing bullish on the 5 and the 10. We're going to be testing soon. The 30 minute needs to get back above 820. So that's going to be a big test on NQ is 820. And then looking at the 4 hour, it's holding bullish. Let's watch some of these breakdown and breakout levels, I suppose. I'll update these alerts just for us, for all the day traders and scalp traders in here. All right. We're going back to 661. After that, watch 665. After, watch that 75. Key open interest level, and then the top of the gamma delta transition zone all the way up there. Thus far, we've done nothing. Thus far, we've triple bottomed, and we've kind of had a double top, a triple top, but one of them overshot the SPY. We are clearly, this is multiple W's. This is multiple M's. This is thus far a non-trending day. And it sucks, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And actually, let me do some math there. 2K. 70. So 20 is potential resistance. Interesting. 56. 56 is the top. So maybe one of my profits I'll put at 50. At a certain point, I have to move my stop to break even. All right, we're going to see, is this a lower high? Or, so right here at 10, 11, 10, 12, that's a higher low. We also had a higher high. even though it looks ugly, if we are being that rigid with our definition of trends, right now, technically the SPY and the Qs are in a bullish trend. The recent high relative to the high from 2 ago is higher. The low relative to its recent low is also higher. When you have higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, by definition, that is bullish. I will admit this one looks a little bit sketchy, but if we are being very rigid and kind of purely scientific about how we are defining our trends, that is technically a bullish trend. The low is higher and the high is higher. When you have higher highs and higher lows, by definition, that is bullish. This one seems a little bit weird because the high isn't that much higher and the low isn't that much higher either. So it does make it a little tough for sure. But if we're being very, very regimented in how we define things, technically it is a bull trend. I find the options flow to be a bit more interesting most days, but then especially today because I'm trying to be very, very mindful of the JP Morgan roll. Shit. It didn't. We got rejected at 800 right here. Would we hit 799? I was waiting for this push of 812 for me to move my stop to break even. I was looking for that new fresh high. So obviously we were off by about 13 points. So that didn't happen quite yet. It didn't happen quite yet, but maybe we just have a third higher, higher, low. Maybe we bounce back above 87. Here's a look at flow. Mag 7 giving up a little bit. SPY did get hit there. That doesn't make me feel so good. Man, when is JP? When's JP about to start rolling? When are they gonna start rolling here? Trump speaks at 11. We're not getting nice. Honestly, as much as we've been talking about degenerately trying to pass Apex today because the deal ends in 16 hours, 80% off, use that code Goonie. But the specialty is right here. Not only 80% off, but $85 lifetime PA fees, which makes it very, very interesting. Generally, when I have a final trading session, I'm trying to do something, I'll be a bit degenerate about it. But even now, we're not it's not trendy enough really to be that confidently degenerate, especially on the larger accounts. Oh, do I just want to risk it for the biscuit?
Order submitted.
All right, that's just the baloney account, and I'm going to see if I could pass them. I just went long, max contracts, and the target is this recent high right here. Sorry, not the recent high, the high at 1004. So not only do we have to go there, but we have to go there without a pullback, because remember, it's based on your unrealized high. So if we go up really close and then pull back and then go, I'm still screwed. So basically, I'm just saying, okay, we pumped, we pulled back. I'm taking that 50-50 bet of maybe we push right up there. Not even 50-50 because 50-50 of do we go up or down, but it's less than 50-50 when you consider I just needed to go straight up. And I guess instead of talking about it, I could literally just show you guys. Right. Yeah, here. I need a straight shot up. It might go, it might not go. Like I said, it's degen. I can't have a second. If it gets rejected at 800, I'm fucked. It honestly needs to go. This can't happen much where I'm fucked. This, it just has to pop straight up. I give my, oh, great. People are trying to sell at 800 and at 810. So there's just two very important levels of resistance before I get my fill. Sick. Oh, nice. Knocked back down to break even. Cool.
Order canceled.
See, that pullback right there. Fuck those accounts. All right. I do have a couple more. To try to take advantage of this deal. What was it? 31? 32. I was smart to partition them up. 31. Okay. Yeah, that double top. I needed the break. And right there, what you just saw in real time is the brutal nature of it being based on your unrealized drawdown. So, like, just the pure number, I really wasn't down by that bad at all. In fact, it went a little bit red. Fuck. I'm watching. I'm waiting to see a little bit of a hit. But that's how they get you in the world of SIMDA funded trading. If you're a viewer and you're like, okay, like this entire thing, it sounds like a little bit too good to be true. Like, what's really the deal here? That's the deal that's too good to be true, is that when most of them, and this isn't necessarily true to all SIMDA funded, but most, like a high majority, they base your drawdown, like the number that they are subtracting your drawdown buffer from, they base it off of your unrealized high. So if you go up 3K, it pulls back a little bit and you lock in 2K, they're not subtracting your buffer for blowout from 2K, which is your realized high. They're subtracting it from 3K, which was your unrealized high, as in the theoretical, like, best opportunity for you to exit. So that's where, like I said, the math becomes very difficult against you as a trader, because it's basically saying, okay, like, it wants your realized high and your unrealized high to be the same. So you can't ever really trend follow, at least at first, or if you do it, you have to kind of get a little bit lucky. What are we doing? Kind of range bound. 80, 25. Top Step doesn't use unrealized drawdown. That's not necessarily true. It depends on the stages of where you're at. And they also have the daily loss limit on one type of an account. And that's another thing. So that's the common switch up, is when people don't have it, they have daily loss limits, which is another mathematical, like, difficulty. Because it's saying, okay, instead of having a 2% drawdown, you can now only have a 1% drawdown. And even though you don't lose your account, you're frozen for the day and you don't have a chance to let things breathe. So it's the same. It's not the exact same, but it's similar in terms of the negative impact on you. It very, very much is. Very, very much is. Okay. We double top there. That's kind of a fucking brutal double top. So SPX did hit its closing value from yesterday. SPY did not. More than the test shutdown. WA chief speaking monthly expiration. No good to you today. It's not monthly expiration, Luke. I don't know where you're getting that. The monthly expiration in the world of options trading is the third Friday of the month. Today, I don't know where you're getting the idea that Tuesday is a monthly expiration. It is not. It is the final day of the month, and it's, I guess if you're trading that, but in terms of a contract, there are what's referred to as, like, actual monthly contracts. That is referred to as a term of art. And
order submitted.
All right, we'll try this again. Icarus just got in. Got a horrible fill. I'm trading a PA account and my trailing max drawdown resets to 2.5 every day. Any thoughts? No, that's what it is. That's the drawdown. That's always that number. It's going to be the 2.5K. If you draw down from that, that's the blowout. Why would that number is not going to alter unless it might go away if you already have more than the buffer in your account in terms of your realized. For example, if your account is at 54,000, your realized value is above that buffer, so it doesn't really matter anymore. But why would that's just how much you're allowed to draw down. That's the magnitude in which you can draw down, or you fail the test or fail the account. Why that number doesn't change. It does go away, but it doesn't alter. It does go away, but it does not alter. Are your current long-term stocks listed somewhere? No. We talk about it in the Discord all the time, and all my swing plays are also listed in the Discord, but I'm not going to give that out just for free. Yes, my accounts are above 54K. If you have an account at 54K and it's a PA account, you don't have to worry about the trailing max drawdown. Your drawdown is to 50,100. And that's where your blowout level would be, 50,100. If your account remains above that, you are good. If your account goes below 50,100, you are not so good. All right. I'm watching this structure right here, team. Right there and right there. And actually, to build it out a little bit better. All right. This is the wedge I am watching. NVIDIA is catching a good bid. Palantir is also recovering nicely. Robinhood had a huge pump and honestly hasn't given much back. CoreWeave is also looking good. Palantir's picking up. NVIDIA's picking up. Tesla not so much. Oklo not so much. Avago not so much. Microsoft's looking good. Yeah. NVIDIA's looking really good right now. Palantir, that's a strong recovery. I would love to see that 184-ish. Also, Randy and anyone else who's maybe confused on like Apex and all that stuff, I do want to let you know that we have standalone videos that have answered all these questions. If you're on Rumble, it's on Rumble. If you're on YouTube, it's on YouTube. But most recently, top 10 Apex Trader questions answered right there. The other one you're going to want to look at is where was it? Apex Rules Explained. Apex Trader Rules Fully Explained 2025 Prop Trading Guide. And then I also have a separate video of maybe the best account that you should be using. So you might want to check those three out. The rules explained, how to easily pass the eval, the best account for you, and then most recently, the top 10 questions answered. So those are all up on the Matt Kohrs channel on YouTube, and it's also on the same Rumble channel. Wherever you're watching right now, you could be able to track that down. So it does more examples and a deep dive on those types of questions and whatnot. Just to help you guys out. NVIDIA broke 185. Yeah, it's looking crazy strong. NVIDIA is in the bottom right of the screen, and it is looking good. It is looking good. It is looking good. And we're not that far away from some of these passing. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Hey. Come on, duty. Could do it. It gave me a fill on some, but not on all of them. No. Come on. I rarely get these degenerate things right. No, you son of a bitch, dude. Oh. Does anyone have this type of bad luck? Like, honestly, people. No. Is there a more unlucky trader? Like, fuck me. Like, literally some got filled, just not all. Oh my Lord. That's just, it's fascinating. It's just, the market gods hate me. They hate me. They are punishing me. Look at it. Some got filled, just not all. Oh, might as well move this up because they're gonna blow out anyway on any pullback. Wow. How brutally unfortunate. Uh-oh. Just put in a lower high as well. No, dude.
Order canceled.
Fuck me, dude. No way can someone get that unlucky. That's so fucking brutal. That's so fucking brutal, dude. Why not manually sell the other ones? Because that's the number you need to pass the test. If you get out at a different value, you don't pass the test. I don't know. I feel like we've explained this many, many times. And the fact that people are still at a loss, you need a certain value to pass the test. If you don't have that value, you don't pass the test. It's not any form of rocket science, people. Why can't you move it down a level? Because some numbers are bigger than other numbers. And certain numbers that are larger than other numbers are the ones you need to pass the test. It's not like they're like, hey man, you were super close, and out of the goodness of our heart, we're going to let you pass. Wow. It really makes me concerned about the state of not only education in the US, but math education. And at that point, we're just talking about numbers of just what numbers are bigger and which numbers are smaller. Can you reach the value on 2 trades, or does it have to be in 1? No, you could do it as much as you want, but then you would have to have a mathematical argument of why trading multiple times is better than trading less times. You could have just taken another trade. Yeah, and what you guys are doing is referred to as Monday morning quarterbacking. Literally, the value was hit. You saw it. It just didn't get the whole fill. So you're saying because of how it played out, I should have done it differently, even though that literally has nothing to do with in real time. In real time, everyone's like, oh yeah, it's going up too. It's going to get hit. What you're doing is, by definition, it is called Monday morning quarterbacking. That's what you are doing. You're only basing your thoughts and your opinions on the trade based on how it played out, even though my value was hit. That's all you're doing. You're now it's actually comical how much you are the definition of Monday morning quarterbacking. You're like, yeah, no. But because it didn't work for you, if you played it perfectly, you could have played it perfectly. Why didn't you play it perfectly, Matt? And if you think like that, you're never going to be a good trader because you don't know what's about to happen. No one in here can confidently say that it wasn't going to go 1 tick higher. No one in here can be like, yes, I have a model and I have mathematical evidence that that was the top and we were not going 1 tick higher. No one in here can say that because you guys don't have that model, because inherently no one in this world has a model. So what you're doing is, because it didn't work, you're now commenting with future information, which was not available at that point, i.e. that was the high. Then you'd be like, well, I would have played it differently. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have at all. Mine was the 17th that I dumped earlier because I got scared. I don't know which one you're talking about. It is sad how some people are just too stupid to understand basic math. Yeah, it makes me sad as well. Statistically, does your single trade strategy pass or fail more evals? There's an entire video on it. We've talked about it. It's 50-50. It's slightly less than 50-50. But, I mean, Chris, you've been in here. We've talked about that, double digits. If you're a returning viewer and you haven't heard about the 50-50 strategy, that would be, in itself, statistically rare. And also, that is not a mathematically sound question, because then the argument is not, do they pass or fail more evals? It's the question is that a better or worse strategy than multiple trades? So even that, Chris, you're not asking the right question. Because it's not relative to itself. It's relative to other potential trading opportunities, such as multiple trades versus one. You're trying, fuck. Trump is talking, and now the market is taking a hit. Jesus. This might be the start of the roll. Just 10:30. Like, maybe it is Trump, something that Trump is saying, but also knowing that JP Morgan is going to start rolling at some point today. Wouldn't be surprised. We could keep watching this, but wouldn't be surprised if this is the start of the JP Morgan roll. Which brings up the fair question of, do I just want to bail for the moment and then see if we can target in hero for when the... I mean, it's getting hit. Someone's moving size. Now, is someone moving size because of something Trump's saying and the market is reacting to that? Totally possible. On the flip side, is it just JP Morgan doing JP Morgan roll things? Because remember, with the JP Morgan roll, there is, it's not like there's a rule or a set time that it has to happen. They just do it at some point today. And it actually takes a bit because they have to kind of establish it. And when it's such a sizable position, and obviously the market is perpetually dynamic and things are changing this way, that way, the other way, there are various things you have to consider. And it's basically a full day process, and then they clean it up right at market close. But you can see right here, the flow just started dumping. So I'm kind of making an educated guess that it's JP Morgan. It literally might just be a large trader reacting to Trump. That's also fair. Like there's a non-0% chance that is what's happening for sure. But just kind of putting it all together, they might have started their roll but the one thing that like makes me a bit hesitant about saying that confidently is historically they've done it in the start of the afternoon. So that's like the one thing that I don't necessarily love about my current prediction is the timing is a bit early. But I'm just kind of going off of what we could read right here. Something caused it to get a little bit scattered. Various people are saying that Trump is speaking still because he had something this morning. But in terms of the White House schedule, the scheduled event is 11 a.m., as in 19 minutes. All right, it's taking a bit to load, but right here, 11 a.m. The president delivers an announcement, 11 a.m. today from the Oval Office. Oh, where are you guys finding him talking? I'm curious. I want to now. White House, maybe? Where are you guys finding the Trump? All right, we don't need that. Videos. So it's not this. Is it AP? Okay, so this is the Senate floor. So, okay, wait, now it's scheduled for 12. Is that, does anyone know if they switched the time? Because this AP is now saying noon when this is saying 11. They are talking about this shutdown 7 days ago. Fox News, they generally have a live up. Trump addresses top military leaders at Quantico. Senate Judiciary hearing outlines Trump's admin's crime-fighting efforts. Okay, so the Quantico thing appears to kind of be over. It looks like people are shuffling out. Trump and Hegseth mystery meeting with top generals at Quantico, which appears to be over. So the one thing that has me a little bit confused, did they already schedule this? That's for 11. Okay, so I'm confused because Fox News has it, the Oval Office thing, pending for 11, but the AP has it pending for noon. Trump makes big announcement from the Oval Office. I am more than happy to sit here all the way up until 11:50. I do have a call that I cannot miss at noon because I thought midday was going to be nothing. So hopefully it's at 11. Hopefully it's at 11. The White House page. We looked at the White House page as well. They didn't have anything pending quite yet. At least I don't think they did. Am I losing my mind? White House. The White House live. Yeah. Well, this is the remarks to the Department of War, but that's not what we're interested in at the moment. So we'll tune it back in at 11 and see, but someone hit a bit of size there on the SPY, came down to the low from yesterday, found a bit of support. Not the craziest thing. You could see here in SPX, as of now, we are bouncing right at support, that low from yesterday. Still in the transition zone. I would love this recapture of 50. It maybe was a little, but see how it stopped? Spot Gamma did a really good job of breaking this down. The fact that it stopped so quickly kind of actually makes me believe that maybe it wasn't them. Maybe not them. Because when they do it, it's so much size, it just keeps going and going and going. What plans do I use on Apex? I go between the 50K accounts and the 150K accounts. I would say the 50K accounts are the best ratios for you in terms of your profit and your drawdown and that stuff. But if you want to trade multiple contracts, you're probably going to want to go up to the 150K account. So I like the 50Ks in terms of it mathematically has the best ratios, but you're still trading probably a contract, or you have to go down to micros if you want to trade multiple. But if you want to trade multiple minis, you should probably go up to the 150K, but the ratios are not as good in terms of your drawdown versus all that other good stuff. I feel like I should put my stop at break even at this point. I feel like I've been flirting with disaster. Flirting with disaster. Try to get in near the bottom of a range. It took out that low. That's a tough one. Jesus Louises. All right, so the break right here is around 812. 40, that's 45. Maybe I should move one of these to 45 to that high right there. This one I just have on the chart to be on the chart. It's more because it needs to match up with it. This one isn't a real target. This is the target that I would generally say, oh, when that hits, I'll move my stop to break even, but my stop's already at break even. Stop is already at, dude, we are having the worst time at 800. All right, there are sitting buy orders at 750 and at 780. We're at the point of control. We're at just above VWAP. The breakout is at 820. You can see there's a lot of sitting passive sell orders right here at 820. And then past that, that's setting up a test of 40. So 820, 840, which makes me feel like my profit target at 45 is kind of stupid. It makes me feel like I should either go along with this one at 37, or if we break it, there's a good chance we just go up to 50. So it feels like being arbitrarily at 45 doesn't make the most sense. It feels like I either need to do 20, 37, or, I mean, there's nothing even up here right now in this zone. NVIDIA looks incredibly strong. Palantir looks incredibly strong. Robinhood, even though intraday, it's lost some steam. The daily chart, crazy strong. CoreWeave is going again. Tesla, I would love for it to get back above 440. Oklo maybe turning around. Avago maybe turning around. Microsoft is going. Whoa, Microsoft catching a bid. Folks, we're ripping it now. We're ripping it now. Come on, motherfucker. Whoa, I'm back into the green. I think 25 is my break even. Maybe 20. I think 20 is my break even on the account. What happens to your Apex PA balance when you request payout and they found you have violated a rule? My understanding is your denied balance remains and you must trade 8 more days. Your understanding is 100% correct. Your understanding is 100% correct. All right. What did we tag? Did we tag 37? No fucking surprise, folks. This is why you need Bookmap. We ran right into that sell side liquidity. We look at this. Took out that level, ran into it, and like Gandalf, we shall not pass. 1, 2, could not get through the third. So took out the first pin, the second pin, the third pin proved to be a little bit more difficult. There are now people trying to dump at 45. There are also people trying to dump at 50. So we ran into this strong wall at 37, which we literally called out like 2 minutes ago. Come on. Come on. Come on, 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 come on. Yeah, now we're just kind of going flat. VWAP is all the way down here at like 93. We had some buyers here at 810. So all of a sudden resistance seemingly turning into a bit of support. This is my break-even level for the accounts on the day is right here at 820. People trying to dump here in the high 40s and right at 50. I'm thinking about maybe moving my stop to this level right here. Oh, I would love for this to get hit first, though. Remember, if you want to trade with someone else's money, I'm trading on my Apex accounts, my take profit, all that. But right now, the deal, and it's ending today, 80% off with that code Goonie. You have 16 hours left. But better than that is if you manage to pass the test today and you update it before midnight, you're only going to have to pay $85 for that lifetime upgrade fee from eval to performance. So that's why this deal is so special. And once again, this is your final trading day for it. Look at that. Microsoft. So when the two biggest stocks in the world are looking like this, it's really going to make the the Nasdaq just hit that closing value from yesterday. But we are not yet at, what is this? 56, 57. 56, 57. I'm undershooting it a little bit here at 50. Oh, brother. We're struggling at the intraday high right now. There is a psychological level at 850, and then there's that pre-market overnight trading high at 850, like 657. So I'm kind of watching this range right here, but we are getting a little bit stopped up at the opening high. We're getting a little bit messed up. Matt has his own order flow analysis charting add-ons. I do not. I wish I did. I probably should build some. CoreWeave looking good. Palantir looking good. Hood is a little flat. Microsoft, move this down. Tesla maybe picking up a little bit. So CoreWeave pumping flat, giving a little bit back right now, but up 15%. Microsoft is ripping. Nvidia is ripping. Palantir is ripping. Tesla starting to pick up. Big breakout at 440. Would love for it to take out the intraday high, 443. Robinhood, good gain on the day. Taking a breather midday. Oklo kind of looking like shit. Avago catching a bid. Apple is even now picking up a little bit. Meta picked up a little bit after getting hit. Same thing with Oracle. Coinbase giving it back. HUT, HUT catching a bid. Netflix stopped vomiting. Rum flat. Open catching a bid. Rigetti popped, now flat. Qubits flat. IONQ flat. AMD grinding upward. MSTR nothing. SoFi taking a considerable hit. Texas Roadhouse drifting down. TLT going up. VIX down. ETH 4.1K. Bitcoin 13.5. Oh, brother. Oh, brother, oh, brother. That's a lot of numbers on the screen. I'm really thinking about moving my stop all the way up to 17.5. I'm really thinking about it. Really, really, really thinking about it. People are still trying to dump at 85 and at 50. I'm here in this second group of people at 50. It's 10:54. Trump is scheduled to speak at 11, but who knows if he actually will. Who knows if he actually will. Ever since that pop right here, just hitting the ask, aggressive buying, since then we've gone flat. So from a moment of expansion to consolidation, and now we're waiting for the next phase of expansion. Golly. Oh, quick side note. Like I said yesterday or maybe last week, if another reason for you guys to take advantage of this, if enough are sold with that code Goonie, we're going to have more to give out this week. So we'll be giving out more freebie accounts. And I know going into today, we were pretty darn close. So if I'm being honest and transparent with you, I don't want there to be that much pressure because I'm assuming some of you got these accounts today with that code Goonie, so we're probably over the line. But I just want to let you know that we're very close to the goal of the amount of counts that need the code Goonie for us to be able to give more away to you this week. So I just wanted to call that out. And here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Nice. Moving the stop up. And we are looking pretty. We are looking pretty. We are looking pretty. I just have this up here at 900 just because, I don't know. Total P&L, I could go up to 45. I'm trying to think of like the actual max it could be. I think 35. I don't think this is a self-imposed limit, but I don't want to go above 3K. And if my back of the napkin math is right, I think that would be a 3K gain on all my performance accounts. I believe. Actually, it'd be like 37 maybe. Something like, I don't know. I'm not going to go more than that. Most likely my stop's going to get hit now that I locked in, and I know there's a good chance of that was 50, so 30. So this stop, I'll be green on the day. But because of that difference between the realized drawdown and the unrealized drawdown, I'm going to aggressively follow it, which actually very much increases the chances of me getting stopped out early, because it's basically saying you're not allowed. Like, I'm just going to keep tracking the previous low. So if this pops right here, if we take out 50 again, I'm just going to move it up to 32 because I don't want that delta to be that far off. I don't want the delta to be that far off, but I would love a little bit more strength here. Don't get greedy, Matt. Greedy has nothing to do with it, dude. It's just a trading system. You're either following the system or you're not following the system. I think there's a lot of people who don't have systematic trading, and they might end up getting greedy. They just see the dollar signs. But for me, it's as basic as just do what the system tells you to do. Like, I don't know. I think that type of thing, it's good advice if you are not trading a system. But if you're trading a system, there's nothing really with greed or no greed. It's just, are you following the system? It's a basic yes or no. You follow the system. That's all it is. All it is. If you're not following a system, yeah, discipline, greed, that type of stuff is something you very, very much have to consider, of course. But beyond that, I would recommend do whatever you need to quickly start trading an actual system rather than just random ass like hey, this might or might not work. I don't have systematic trading. I have trading ideas. Well, that's quite the callback there. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm thinking about moving my stop a little bit higher. I wanted it to try to push 50 again so I can move my stop up to 30. Remember, my goal is to trail this one as much as I can now. And I have a max profit of somewhere between 2.5 and 3K on the day, which is a self-imposed max profit on all these performance accounts. Okay. I just moved the stop up to this recent high here, as you could see. So just on this pop, we took out 1, 2, 3, 4 different highs. I'm looking for this follow through. I just don't want it to get smacked at 50. And instead of getting a fill at 29, I get a fill at 17. That's 12 points. That's going to be a little bit over $200 in my delta differential. So I feel like this is close enough that I'm still giving it a bit of room to breathe. But inherently, remember, my drawdown is going to be based off of this perfect exit value at 54. So that's already 20 points. That's already $400 eaten into my drawdown. So I'm just going to see if I could get lucky. But I just don't want the difference of that perfect exit to be that far away from where my trailing stop is. Okay. And speaking of which... so the Qs are green. I like that. I'd like for the SPY to go green. I'd like for NVIDIA. I would love for CoreWeave to rip. I would love for Palantir to rip. I would love for Tesla to rip. And I would love for Oklo to rip. Oklo is the concerning one right now. I just got into it yesterday, and it's currently kicking my dick in. Fox. Does anyone know if he is live? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Does anyone right here? Waiting for the event to begin. How would you suggest going about creating and finding a system to follow? That is a great question. And fortunately for you, I already have a video series exactly breaking it down. Easily build your own AI trading systems to pass Apex. So you have video 1, video 2, video 3, video 4. There is a free FREE 4-part series where I explain in painful detail how you can build your own algorithmic, mechanical, systematic trading systems, as in the robot does everything, and you can build it with your AI, as in you don't need any of your own coding knowledge. It's out there. It's free. This is not like an upsell. I'm not hiding anything behind a paywall. Of course, in the trading Discord, we have people doing it and they're very good, and there's advantages to being able to bounce ideas off of them. But in general, if you want to do this like solo and kind of like attack it yourself, right there. Video 1, video 2, video 3, video 4. 4-part series. It's all out there. And this is more than enough for you to get started. Okay, SPY's making that run. SPY is making that run. We are attempting to go green, folks. We are attempting to go green. And all right, so that's up there. Feel free to check it out. Also, there's a link in the description. If you're on Rumble, it's also on Rumble. We mirror all of our content between the two platforms. We're waiting for Trump. Folks, I just want to let you know now, he's supposed to talk now at 11, but you should also know the fact that I have a hard stop at 11:50. I have a call that I cannot miss. A call on the day of my daughter's wedding. Microsoft is going, NVIDIA is going, Palantir is going. Palantir, where's the Palantir breakout? Palantir is taking out the high from the next 2 days, but the real breakout's at 184. NVIDIA has hit 184.50, which means whatever today's intraday high is a new all-time high. So congrats if you are riding that. Microsoft, higher highs, higher lows, bending back around. Maybe this is the start of the push to 555. This might have been that big pop, the pullback, the consolidation, the accumulation, and now we see this higher low. Beautiful entry Friday, beautiful entry yesterday. Maybe you can get that potential follow through on a leap-esque type of trade. NVIDIA, we did that. Palantir, we did that. Tesla, just chilling. We're just waiting. Can it hold 440? Can it break out of 451? Robinhood hitting a new all-time high. Oklo got hit flat. I thought I was going to get going. I'm risking 108. Broadcom, nothing. Apple, flat. Watch Apple for the breakout or the breakdown. Either you're pushing 257 or you're pushing 251. Meta getting hit. New competition. Oracle getting hit. Coin showing a little bit of a bounce, but overall still accumulation. Hut, not really doing anything. Netflix, not really doing anything. Open, no. Rigetti, no. Okay, I would say the main interesting ones on a very short time frame to watch right now are CoreWeave, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Palantir, Tesla, and Hood. I would say, yeah, this group. CoreWeave, in no particular order, CoreWeave, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Palantir, Tesla, and Hood are kind of the ones that are... Oh, look at that flow today. Look at that Mag 7 flow. SPY's even picking up from 1040 till now. Look at all that positive gamma. 660, we got to break 675, setting up 6,700. We're almost back into the green on SPX, but after 661, watch 665, and then watch 6675, and then that sets up this zone. So this might be the interesting trade here, from 661 all the way up to 6675. So I'm kind of looking for a pump, a pullback, a higher low, and then trying to ride that up to 6675. The Qs are officially in the green. The Russell is down by 0.5%. The SPY is currently break even. That is where we are at. Speaks the truth. I'm using ChatGPT to create auto trading in NinjaTrader. I'm not a coder at all. Yeah. Before I used to give people like just whatever. Not everyone's a coder, so I understood why people didn't do it. But now with the current state of AI, you can have your own fully automatic trading systems, and you really don't have that good of an excuse. In fact, I would argue you have no excuse. Does anyone, whether in Rumble chat or in YouTube chat, does anyone know what's going on with this talk of what's happening here? Has anyone seen any tweets or anything like that? Like, what's going on? When is it starting? When is it not starting? Let's look at the AP. Nothing's happening there. Nothing's happening there. Man, I would love for the SPY to get one more little push right up here. Take it out, this value. I would love it. Love it, love it, love it. Right here, take out 661. Little short-term movement. Overall trend is looking decent. SPY did rip up until just the change of the hour, taking a little bit of a hit there. Taking a wee bit of a hit. He's stuck on another escalator. Shutdown meeting? I don't know what that means. Shutdown meeting. What? As in this meeting got shut down? It's not happening? What does that mean? I need full sentences. Government shutdown meeting. Yeah, I'm talking about when is this getting going? Oh, Mag 7 taking a little bit of breather in price. Options are a bit flat. S&P 500 still a little bit of, is it profit taking? Little bit. Nothing too crazy. Little bit of profit taking. Some puts, so some calls being sold, some puts being bought right at this high. People, it's the turn of the hour. They're also playing it off of it. I get it, but not in overall, not that big of a movement. Here's a look at Trace. little seek and destroy on 6650, and then you're going to have this problem right here between 6660 and 6675. That's a lot of positive gamma. So it's going to be potentially a little bit of sticky price action. A little bit of sticky price action. Palantir, NVIDIA. Palantir going for an intraday high. NVIDIA going for an intraday high. CoreWeave not far off. Microsoft going for an intraday high. I would love for Tesla to get going. Yeah, CoreWeave, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Palantir, Tesla, all looking decently strong. Tesla could pick it up a little bit, and so could Hood. But the other group is literally at their highs. CoreWeave, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Palantir, strong flow on them as well. Right here. Here's Palantir, long and strong. Here's NVIDIA, long and strong. CoreWeave, long, now a little flat, but obviously we popped up today. Apple is actually starting to trend up. Hood did pop, then you had some profit taking. Oracle, ugh. Microsoft, long and flat now, but that was quite the pump. Quite the pump. Well, here's to hoping Palantir can take out 190 before you know it. It's a blame the Dems for the government shutdown meeting. Well, of course, both sides are going to blame the other side. That's how that works. Trump is talking. I have a feeling he is not. EMD, where are you getting your information? Because Fox is not live and the AP is not live. So what are you talking about? It's supposed to start at 11, but none of these guys are ever on fucking time. It's so incredibly annoying. Like, what's the point in even having a schedule if you're always just so incredibly late? I don't get the point of it. That's probably why the AP, like at one point I was wondering if they scheduled it improperly. What is this? Big VOD update. Something YouTube does not have. Every Rumble creator can send one notification to all their followers. Any video upload once per day. Build your following on Rumble. That's sick. What? Someone used a lighter to open a bag of cotton at a cotton factory? There's no way that turns out well. Oh, no. Dude is winning at life. Is there anything else going on? I'm not seeing any other breaking news. Tyreek Hill is ecstatic. He doesn't have to play with Tua anymore. What happened? Did he blow out his ACL or something? I'm not seeing anything else going on. Not. Breaking. Oil prices extend losses to 62 a barrel and reports that OPEC Plus is considering a 500,000 barrel per day output hike every month for the next 3 months. Gas prices are likely heading to a new 2025 low next. Okay, if you say so. If you say so. I'm not seeing anything else of utility right now, team. Well, but I would lose my position. It's a bull market, you know. Little fat guy. Little fatty. Corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. DoorDash, no. Everyone has a health story. The late night searches, trial and error, fear. What is this? What the hell's going on right now? Nothing. Give us some info. What is this one? This was the remarks that were from earlier this morning, the remarks of the Department of War, but that's been wrapped up for a minute. That's been wrapped up for a minute. His belly lives separately from his body, a dancing belly. No way did he eat this all. What? Oh my Lord. Yeah, that can't be healthy. Tyreek Hill's career just ended and he's laughing. What happened to Tyreek Hill? I didn't see this last night. Is it his ACL? Oh, no. Oh, why would you guys let me watch that? Oh, no. Oh my God, that's not supposed to bend that way. All right, I just got stopped out, locked in 800 per account. No, your leg. I'm no doctor, but that is not how it's supposed to work. That's against science. Jesus. That is, ow, my knee just out of sympathy now feels weird. I thought it would just be like a little twist and we saw him on the ground and grabbed it. I didn't realize we're going to see a leg go the complete opposite freaking way that it should. Ow. You guys got to warn me better about that type of stuff. That's not fair. That is not fair. So this is interesting. We broke up and then broke down and then broke up again. This one, we broke up and up and up. Interesting. All right, well, I got stopped out. It just came back, and like I said, I didn't want... actually, updated report was a torn ACL. So is at his age and his other extracurricular activities, is he just done now? Is that the end of his career? Is that the last time we ever hear of this guy? All right, Mag 7, we got the pop. S&P, I don't know. That's tilting pretty aggressively again. It could be some short-term profit takers. I'm hesitant to say that it's JP Morgan because they have waited to the afternoon in the past, but who knows? Who knows? Scott Collins, Jesus. Yeah, with his age and his game being speed, just might be it. Double jointed, he is dead. Yeah, I think if he wasn't being accused of beating his wife multiple times, 8 separate times, that he might have a better shot at a comeback. Maybe a team would take a chance on him. Doesn't seem to be the best vibes for him right now, though. Doesn't seem to be the best vibes. Spice. Definitely taking a little bit of a larger hit. Almost got up to it. Almost. I mean, look at this day. I get that it kind of feels like, whoa, we're riding it this way. We're riding it that way. But please understand, in reality, we've done nothing today. This is the start of the day. Little down, little up, little down, little up, little down, little up. We are just at basically where we open. We're just getting pinned to this key level. That's all it is. Like we've actually done nothing today. A whole bunch of nothing. Palantir's having a good day. Microsoft's having a good day. Nvidia's having a good day. Tech has been a little bit stronger for sure, but if you look at the S&P 500, folks, this is a bunch of nothing. It's a bunch of nothing, folks. It's a bunch of nothing. A little bit of a sell-off. Mag 7 is flat. Those options aren't getting hit, but the SPY options are going down. All-day stream? No, definitely not. It's already boring. Like, this is... Nothing's going on. Nothing is going on, folks. Wow. Ran right up to that closing value. Bounced off the low value. Ran up to the closing value. Golly. Just lit. I guess gravity wins. They still haven't... Dude, I get so pissed off about how often... Like, they're always late. Are we ever on time? I feel like they're on time with, like, big things like the State of the Union address. But when we have these, like, midday updates... Why the website itself, the White House schedule, just always change it by an hour. Just go change it. Like, what's the point? What is the point? Like, come on. Just waiting. I don't even know. How much are we going to be here for? Yeah. It's probably appropriate to call it. All right, well, before I let you go, 16 hours left. That's how long you have left to take advantage of 80% off with that code Goonie when you check out. But why it's so special is because you're also going to, if you can pass today and upgrade today, it's only $85 instead of $140, and that's for the lifetime. So I just wanted to share that with all of you. It's ending today. This is the final trading session to take advantage of that setup. Please be mindful of Trump's speech. It was supposed to start at 11. Now it's probably going to be noon. I don't know. Also be mindful of the JP Morgan roll. That's going to be done at some point today, and it's going to take some time. So please be mindful of that. Also be mindful of the fact that the government's probably going to shut down at midnight tonight, which is going to have an impact on many things, which is also very evidently going to include the jobs numbers this Friday. So you guys got a lot to pay attention to, but right now it's just we're awkwardly waiting. We're not really trending. You just got to be patient. Just got to be patient. Folks, that's what I have for you. We're going to be catching you later on today. We'll do that update video breaking down everything you should have known from today and also the setup for tomorrow. We'll be streaming once again tomorrow. And don't forget to take advantage of that Apex deal ending today. And if enough of you get accounts, we'll be able to give more of those accounts away at some point this week to just celebrate a little bit. But overall, that's what I have for you. Please stick to your trading plan. Please keep your risk low. Please let your winners ride. Please stick to your trading system. That's what I have for you. Best of luck. I hope you make a buttload of money, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.